Hello and welcome back to SNHU Esports, live from the Connection Esports Arena. My name is Shirley, also known as Shane. I'm here with Kresnik Overwatch.
Yes,
Thank
me.
you so much for joining us.
No problem. I mean, as the creator of Overwatch, I felt like it was my duty to be here to watch and support the Southern New Hampshire Esports Overwatch team.
Well, it's great to have your insight here as Mr. Overwatch himself. We have our first game, or our game of the night is Sapphire versus Nova Nighthawks. We also have our B stream, which will be running simultaneously.
Yes.
Pearl versus Arcadia. You can check that out at twitch.tv/SNHU Esports B. Might as well pop both of them open here if you want all the Overwatch you can get.
Does multi-twitch still work?
I think multi-twitch does still work. I'm pretty sure it does. But we are ready to go ahead and hop into our map overview of the night. Let's look at our first map coming up.
Yeah, first best of 5 series, so it will be control into hybrid, escort, push, and then ending with a control. If there is a draw, the last map will be a escort. But Lijiang is where things are going to start off. A map that has been historically really cursed for the history of SNHU. There's been some strategies that have been really effective for them, like the absolute insane theory that I came up with the Ball, Sigma, Pharmacy on Control Center. But those were some of the most success that SNHU has seen. Still, though, they're feeling more comfortable on the map now in this one tank meta, 5 versus 5. Put a lot of time into it recently, so we'll see if it works out for them.
I mean, that makes sense. Lijiang is, I feel like 80% of the time, Lijiang is the first map we have here on stream.
Yeah,
so
it feels like the Dust 2 of KOF maps, right?
Yeah, it is. It doesn't feel right to have an Overwatch stream where we don't open up on Lijiang. Sometimes we get Pearl streams where they don't open up on Lijiang.
Yeah.
It's like Busan or something, and I'm almost thrown all out of sorts here. But as Lijiang, we're actually going to go ahead and hop into game now, into Lijiang, our first round. Looking into this, we can see we see Sapphire's lineup here. I'm not sure if we've actually seen them play a full. We haven't seen them play a full best of 5 set yet, and we haven't seen too much of their Lijiang yet. So should be exciting.
Yeah, and actually, interestingly, the lighting pivoted. I believe they're back to night.
I like it.
For season 3. I really like. See, here's the thing. I like morning lighting better than I like night lighting.
Yeah,
but the evening lighting, it's just like you're wearing blue light glasses. It's just like you're wearing blue light glasses. There is really nothing else to it there.
That was my favorite thing about seeing, especially some changes like what we saw to Coliseo, where that also shifted the time of day.
Great.
It looks so much better being midday now as opposed to evening because it's just so much less orange.
The 2010 TV series Mexico filter was removed from the map because that's historically what happened there. Nova Nighthawks are playing something they're basically playing the Season 2 comp, right? They're exactly what you'd be expecting. Sapphire trying to play the Rhine after these changes. We'll see how it works out as they're starting off at a pretty close range area, but immediately both teams pivoting to the point.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this Rhine coming out with the start of Season 3 here. Definitely going to be a bit interesting to see how that changes up the pace here. But getting started off with this first team fight, see Declan taking a good bit of damage, but Consume's actually going to fall as Nock finds that kill. Nova picking up one-on-one trick as well, and with 3 players down as Biso falls, no healing left, just Pepto and Osiren. They're going to have to fall back to spawn here, try and relink up with their team. Nock's actually going to down, so will Nova, and those are 2 big picks from Nova who might be overextending a little bit. And now with Consonu back into the fray, there's only 3 players here that are actively on the hill. Could be an opportunity here, but with Pepto getting taken out there by a stray javelin, might be a hard opportunity.
Yeah, an early stalemate there, a little slowdown from SNHU Sapphire. We're not able to really get through. Consonu got stuck on that middle pillar on the point, really unable to push past that now. So going back in win condition, I mean, Small Blue Band did so much damage in that first fight, already has Tire. Gonna have to be looking out for that from Sapphire. They have to save him more for this moment right now.
Oh, Riptire getting taken out there. Consonu with a very nice fire strike is going to be able to shut that down. But right now, he's just getting shredded in the thick of things. We'll be able to get that immortality field down, try and keep him alive. But with Declan pushing on through, he is going to be able to take him out. And now it's all 5 people just locking on the console noob there. One trick and Biso going to fall as well. Just Pepto left standing. And it's going to be a team kill for the Nighthawks.
Now, not a lot of teams are really playing Orisa and Scrims. So the Season 3 comps that Sapphire were trying to prepare, probably a little bit surprised by seeing this here. I mean, this is definitely the best map to play something like this close-range disruption that Orisa will bring, and that's why Sapphire now looking to Murid. This is something they have a lot of time in from before and already getting some pressure, but Pepto caught in the trap.
Unfortunate trap, going to catch him out of his overclock here with the sound barrier also going out, just getting rushed down by that Lucio. Pet will actually be able to take him down, Nock falling out. It's going to be Declan, who is just barely on the brink of death right now, staying alive, but Pepto takes him out with a railgun shot there, and Osiren now on the back line, trying to harass them, trying to make them fall back here. Nova's going to go down, and so will Small Blue Man. Only 1 player left still in the fight, and with that, Sapphire going to be able to flip the hill, start making up some progress. The Nighthawks is 67%. That is a pretty decent way through.
Yeah, definitely great start for them, but you can really see how their comp has kind of fallen off a little bit later into the meta that it was initially built on. Kiriko is really struggling to keep Orisa up here. You can see how slow she's getting healed up and how quickly she'll get burst down through this without Suzu available. Quick kills for Sapphire. One ult spent to resettle here in this choke point, but yeah, the healing difference has been huge. But Nova Nighthawks, they need to play a game plan that will disregard that. They have Overclock, they have Terra Surge, they have to find a way to get in quickly. Sapphire already pulling a little bit further back for it, but they can't stop this fortified Orisa.
Declan just running on through, is going to use Terra Surge, not going to find any kills with it, but Nova finding 2 quick kills there, taking out the Immortality Field as well. Now looking to try and take out One Trick, will be able to, pushing forward Console Noob with no support. Siren going to get deleted there, and Console Noob will end up falling as well as the Nighthawks make their way quickly back onto the hill and flip it back over, now nearing 75%. They're closing in on the finish line for our first round here.
Plus having Tyre and Kitsune Rush, you're not going to see a Fire Strike happen here again to take that down now that switch to Orisa, but already used Jasmine. Continue just trying to face tank it. Immorto will save him this time, and they get a pulse. So that's a 1-for-1 now positive, even in favor of both teams.
With Console Noob down, though, that's going to be a tank out of the fight for Sapphire, and as Declan's still in the middle of things, could be a little bit of trouble. Siren trying to leash the Nighthawks back towards the point, will be there trying to get touched. Nova is going to get taken out at the Sojourn duel. Pepto comes out on top of that, but the Nighthawks start to push forward here. Sapphire will be able to flip the hill in the background. Biso gets taken out there by Noct. Console Noob beginning to run forward. Does have Terra Surge ready. Won't pop it. Actually, will pop it right now, as well as the Overclock coming out from Pepto, trying to catch the stragglers who are falling back, and it will be Tensor and Small Blue Man who go down. It's going to be the Nighthawks falling back as Sapphire closing in on 65%.
A lot of ults that are spent from Sapphire to break that down. It felt like with Pulse kind of used early, and then Overclock and Terra maybe an overspend because they already kind of had an advantage in that fight. But neither team really has an ultimate other than Beat coming up soon for both teams. We'll see who uses it more effectively. When it's just a beat mirror, the team that uses it second sometimes is the better one to do it, unless you get incredible position when you rip it early. But Nova Nighthawks have it. Here comes the beat. How will the counterplay come out?
Ooh, good sound barrier there. Console Noob staying alive, but will get taken out as soon as that shield gets shredded there by the Junkrat from Nighthawks. One Trick trying to just get as much damage out as he can on these walls. So Siren be the one to finish off that Junkrat, and now Declan moving in here on Pepto. Could be a difficult time for him, and he will actually get taken out there by Declan. Nighthawks Noct almost finding himself getting sent back to the spawn room, but will get healed right back up as Sapphire continue to stay in this fight. We're going to see the Amplification Matrix come out from Biso and actually just expire. Immortality Field also going out, trying to keep him alive, but One Trick is not going to be able to get into its zone in time. So the Immortality Field is doing a good job at keeping Console Noob alive, but Biso is going to end up falling in the backline there to Noct. Console Noob with no support left is going to end up going down, and the Nighthawks right now is ticking down overtime. Siren falls, and that is going to be round 1 for Nova.
A really close fight up to that point, but I feel like Focus Fire, the biggest miss from SNHU there. A lot of people shooting a lot of different directions. No one really taken down fully during that. Also, I think just some players feeling the pressure first match here as well. Nova Nighthawks playing cool, calm, and collected in finding these kills. They just need to rein in Declan. I feel like Declan has kind of been overstepping a lot on Orisa. Maybe not used to the damage that is coming in his way. They're not missing the Orisa. They're just struggling to finish off the other players on the team.
Right.
But looking at this, small pivot, just Reaper. Change from them, but a total swap up. Minus the Lucio, unless we're still going to see that change from Sapphire.
I like to see the Ball coming out here. I mean, Ball and Orisa seem to be the really big tank winners here in Season 3, and seeing them seeing Ball really come into a position of power in this meta is really interesting to see, because it definitely enables a very different style of play compared to a lot of other tanks. As our teams stand off here in the middle. Pepto Railgun shot is going to do a ton of damage to Declan there, but a Suzu coming out is going to put that ability on cooldown very, very early as the fight starts to break out here, and that's going to be a lot of damage going on to Nova and Small Blue Man. Nova's going to end up falling there to Siren as One Trick continues to move in forward now. We're going to try and take the fight directly into Orisa, but that Reaper from the Nighthawks is going to be able to shut him down. Declan, not much health left, but this Javelin spin just absorbing so much damage. Pile Driver coming through will allow Pepto to be able to finish off that kill. Declan going down, no more tanks for the Nighthawks, so Siren starts to move in, trying to just keep this hill under control. Console will finally show up here on the scene to actually be able to try and push them back. Almost got booped off the side there, but going to be able to get right back up. Pile Driver come through, just trying to harass them, trying to force them back, and waiting for them to regroup with their tank.
I feel like Tensor's using his Suzu very early It's getting forced out, allowing SNHU to engage. You have to be a lot more cautious with it. Can't really play that greedy and throwing it early. If they have a ball tracer, they can just collapse on you. And that's exactly what they're doing here. Suzu now used again just to keep them alive. No one was even engaging on that Kiriko. All Console Noob has to do is roll around until someone's ready. Now doing a lot of pressure onto them. This Sojourn forced to run away, 2 bars taken out, and that early cap by Osiren is consistently paying dividends here.
Look at how much health Console Noob has. He is unkillable right now in the middle of things. He's taking no damage in the middle of like 3 players right there. And now the Nighthawks are going to be shoved back into their spawn. Let's take a look at the ult economy here. Sapphire, they've got, I mean, pretty much a loaded hand right now. They've got 4 ultimates up. The Nighthawks are still struggling to build up a little bit.
Plus, they just did a swap, so cut back down to 25% after that previous change for Season 3, and now forced to wait out a little bit longer with those mines put down, arming a lot faster, isolating that Lucio, but it's the random spam from the Torbjorn. Small Blue Man finding Biso to open things up, but it's traded right away.
Overclock comes out here from Pepto. He's able to find Tensor. That's the support down, and the Kitsune Rush was able to go out first. Declan's going to go down. Pepto takes down the front line here for the Nighthawks. Small Blue Man's going to go down. Nox going to reset, and Nova ends up falling. That's going to be a very successful hold there from Sapphire as they close in on 80%. The Nighthawks don't have much time left.
And a very different look from SNHU Sapphire on this map with a totally different comp. Interesting to see that kind of struggling over Nighthawks. They're bringing the same exact comp 2 maps in a row, and now they're dropping the Lucio, a really crucial part of this Orisa comp for that Brig, just feeling the pressure on their Kiriko, need the peel, but already taking a lot of damage.
Something scary here is the 2 support ults that Sapphire has. We're going to see the rally come out from one trick, but it won't be able to save Osiren. It gets picked off by Nova. Nox gets taken out by Biso, though. Nova popping Overclock will be able to trade that one right back, taking down one trick. Pepto stuck in a corner is not going to be able to survive, and it's looking like the Nighthawks are going to be able to get this flip here as they take down Biso and get control of the hill. Starting from 0% here, they've got a long way to go.
This is one of the stages on Control, specifically this night market stage, where you can really set up a big comeback. They're limited incredibly on the directions they can enter from, but the comp that Sapphire are running, a little bit less limited in those choices than the comp that the Nighthawks are running, right? They have a lot of mobility, they can dash through, they can surround you, and it's still a crucial part of their game plan, which is why the Nighthawks are now backing up, trying to play frontal stare up here ahead. We'll see how this front line and back line can synergize. It's a big slam from Console Noob as he disengages.
Good disruptor field as well, just taking a ton of damage right in the middle of the entire team. We're going to see Osiren trying to flank the back line here. Not going to find too much, though, as Noct is able to really shove him back on that Brigida. One trick also just struggling to get into the actual middle of the hill right now, but it's going to be a pick onto Torbjorn for the Nighthawks. Osiren will end up getting taken out, though. A trade coming through for Tensor, and Nova with the disruptor field will be able to take down one trick. Just kills coming out on both sides right now as Declan and Nova go out to a very nicely placed minefield from Console Noob, and Pepto with the overclock is going to be able to finish off Noct, now looking to try and take out Tensor, who's just looking to delay it for as long as possible, but SNHU trying to get control of the hill. We're going to see Small Blue Man try and come in for the touch, but as they flip the hill, timer starts to burn down here. Nighthawks are going to be able to get touch. They're really going to need to be able to try and flip the hill here because they still have a decent way to go. Sapphire, they seem to try and hold on to this, try and force them back. Declan getting demeched, though, is not a good sign for how this team fight is going to come out, and he gets taken out immediately. Noct falls, Tensor falls there, no more supports, just Nova and Blue Man, and Nova gets taken out, just the soldier left, and he is dispatched by one trick there as Sapphire even the odds 1-1 taking round 2.
You talked about Sapphire struggling to get into the point, but that's kind of the game plan there, right? You don't want to necessarily commit until you have some really good damage or some really good early picks. They wear them down, they do commit. Once they do, they still lose people because that comp is so strong in an enclosed area. But Console Noob, huge turnaround, dropping the minefield, getting 2 picks, I think, immediately. That extra half second of arm time, it has been a world of difference for the effectiveness of that ultimate. It used to just be, oh, I can't go this way, unless he really screwed you over with the mines getting grouped up in a corner that you were playing.
Right.
Now it'll kill you. Now it will. It will just kill you. Now, if you're not ready for it, didn't seem like Nova Nighthawks were, but we're seeing a very different comp here. I mean, Bastion, Sim to TP out. Okay, Diva as well. I have not seen a comp like this played in practice.
This is
I will tell you that now. This is a
seen the Sombra come out too.
Must be specifically for Console Noob. Probably the Bastion as well. It's going to be a really tight backline, but that Diva might not be able to move at the pace that they want to with the Sombra if she can get all the way in.
Yeah, Pepto putting up a lot of charge in here as he sprays through into the entire team. Console Noob coming through the backline, though. A great pile driver is going to knock up a ton, but Osiren gets taken out there by a biotic grenade. Tensor finding that kill as he catches him off on the flank. Biso just trying to rain some damage in from afar, but Console Noob's actually going to get taken out by Declan there, and that is at Sapphire's front line down. They're going to have to try and fall back here as Declan continues to push forward here, and Hack coming out onto Pepto, not going to be able to slide out for a minute here, but See the Bastion already just laying down that suppressing fire, and it's a very scary situation to be in right here. If you are right in the middle of the team and getting hacked, Pepto can't slide out. Will be able to get a ton of healing though, and he doesn't have to worry about trying to escape. He just front lines with Declan there, is able to demech him, and now Nova going down. That's the Sombra out. Declan on the brink of death. One Trick will be the one to finish him off here, and now with no frontline, Noct goes down. Just 2 players left. Blue Man down, and Tensor soon to follow SNHU. Looks like they're gonna be able to flip the hill here.
On a Brig, it's really only Brig that's going to keep your entire team alive. And you could see, I felt like Nova Nighthawks were walking on a tightrope that whole time.
Yeah.
People were just getting low, healed up. Declan had to hide with, it was like someone 7 feet tall playing hide and seek, standing behind a street lamp. Like, there was no way you can hide D.Va's giant mech around that little pillar, so they took a lot here early. But now, playing for Small Blue Man's ultimate here, he might be getting pulsed in the meantime, but actually they aided Declan. Excellent play peeling for that, but that ultimate, not the most effective without a combination. Kind of spending that for nothing, but it's a 1-for-1 nothing show here as Nova Nighthawks make it to the point.
Yeah, Nano Boost going to go out here onto Declan as he tries to get into the middle of things. Pepto popping the overclock, and the Transcendence coming out from Biso. It's going to be more than enough to try and counter this as Blue Man goes down. A ton of damage going out here onto Tensor, but he's being kept alive here by the rally from Noct. But with that expiring D.Va Bomb coming out, won't be able to find anything. Pepto was trying to build up some charge here, trying to find some shots on these squishies in the backline. One Trick finding a kill onto Tensor there. That's one of the supports down, and Noct is slowly being whittled down as he loses the healing there from Tensor. Both supports down now. EMP coming out will be able to do a ton of damage there. Console Noob and Pepto both fall. Just 3 players left. One Trick can't stay alive. Biso and Osiren are the only 2 left in this 2v2, and Declan in the middle of things will be able to take down Biso. It's just the Tracer versus the D.Va, and Osiren is going to be able to finish off this fight as the sole survivor. Sapphire hold on to the hill.
I was going to say they're going to come back quickly, but actually a change already. Both DPS is now swapping Tracer and Sojourn for the Nova Nighthawks. As close to a mirror as you can get, but not playing Zen and not playing Ball. Mines will be a huge factor in this, actually, if they can't clear them out quickly. How fast can Console Noob engage? He's going to find them here. Drop mines between them and point. They don't need to force it just yet, though. They might be a little early.
They will be able to pile drive the Ana there, forcing them to regroup back, but the team as the minefield gets cleared out will be able to knock him off the side. That is a free kill there onto Tensor. Blue Man's going to fall as well, and Noct is just getting shredded at the moment in the backline. So is Nova. The entire team of the Nighthawks is just slowly being whittled down as soon as they lose that core support, and a team kill coming out there. We're going to see the switch over to Kiriko, but unlikely to matter as Sapphire close out this first game 2-1, starting off this set with a lead.
And this is really, I think, going to inform their bans moving forward, I would assume, for the modes, because they really struggled against Nighthawks playing a Orisa Brawly comp, and then they played maps where you couldn't play that, and they won fairly well. Like, it never really felt like Nova Nighthawks really had a strong foot. It felt like they narrowly won the fights that they did win on the later halves of it, so we'll see how this changes really in the map bans. They might just want to avoid maps where the brawling out is going to be the main goal.
Yeah, Declan, I thought, really shined there on the Orisa early on. I think really looking at maps where that's going to be able to be a strong factor for them is going to be huge for Declan, because the moment that he had to switch over to the D.Va, you could tell that was a little bit of a weaker pick, especially against Console Noob with the ball. Was just able to do so much and roam around so much, and D.Va wasn't really able to punish that quite as much as you would hope. With our next map coming up being hybrid, what are we kind of looking at? What do we expect to see?
Assume not King's Row.
Yeah.
And I know that I know where they're going, what they're going to ban potentially. I have a feeling if they ban what I would expect them to ban, we might actually see King's Row, because it is winner bans, loser picks, right?
Yes.
So winner, if they want to specifically ban around the members of Nova Nighthawks, I would say they would ban King's Row because they don't want to see Orisa, right? If they're banning for themselves, they're going to ban something that I will not divulge for those watching in later weeks. But got
the playbook kept secret.
Mostly just, hey guys, what do you want to ban? This map? Okay.
Yeah.
But I still don't want to say that ahead of time. They're going to ban the map that they are likely to ban, and then King's Row would get picked, right? So when the map overview comes up, when it is ready, we'll be able to see where it went with that. I feel like they're definitely going to lean that, because that D.Va, I think it probably is actually a decent pick for Declan. Mm-hmm. I just think that the way that the game is played right now, you trade your D.Va for one player, and then you don't have a tank.
Right.
And it's just, you just can't do that in this 5v5.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at what our next map coming up is going to be. It will be Blizzard World.
Interesting. Okay, I'm surprised. I'm not sure what they banned. I'm going to try to see if I can hear them talking about it. There's no way. We can find out maybe who they banned
lively over there. But
yeah, they're very lively, but not talking about their ban, assuming because they probably should be focusing on the next map. Good by them, right? Blizzard World, it's kind of a map you can do anything. They did ban King's Row, so they did ban more to the enemy team. So
I'm sad to see that just because Console Noob tried to open up the game playing Reinhardt. I was really hoping that he would try and play the Reinhardt on King's Row just to see if it would work. But Blizzard World here, this is an interesting map because there's a lot of runs on this map live and die by the second point. It is a meat grinder there.
It's a tough one.
And let's go ahead and hop into game here as we get ready to go into Blizzard World. What kind of team compositions are we expecting here? Just the kind of standard that we've been seeing with the Ball, the Kiriko, Lucio, Sojourn, maybe...
I think we're going to see the Ball Brig Zen comp, is my guess. I don't believe they've actually scrimmed this comp on Season 3 yet, just because they've only had 3 scrims.
Yeah.
Might have been on a day that I was with the B team, which would be yesterday. But if they have not, I would... It's not going to be Moira.
I'm sad. Where's the rain at? Where's the rain at? This is daytime Blizzard World. This is...
Hey.
Is this NECC
Talk to
regulation?
NECC. Talk to NECC.
I love rainy Blizzard World so much. It's got the perfect aesthetic. But I'm okay. All the rides are open now. It's fine. You know, whatever.
This is actually going to be a very difficult comp, I think, for SNHU to play into. This is a turbo dive.
Yes.
This is a very, very aggressive, full commit comp.
With Console Noob, I mean, playing the Ball, he's going to be away from his team a lot of the time.
It's all on Sojourn, Ana, Zen to peel for themselves.
Yeah.
I think, as ridiculous as this sounds, who Biso kicks
That's
is
true.
actually going to be incredibly important. If he can kick the monkey off of that close high ground, they might be able to get some, like, they might be able to live through that. If all 3 can slam on them at once, they're not going to be able to survive. SNHU, their front line specifically, the disruption line, as you can call it, right? The Tracer and the Ball, they're going to need to stop one of the stages of aggressive setup, or I think SNHU might just crumble.
Yeah, definitely going to be really just that tightrope walk that we've kind of saw on the last map here, but even more so as Biso gets taken out immediately. Tensor diving in with help, going to be able to find that kill. One Trick also falling. Pepto now just stranded in the middle of the entire team, not able to finish off that kill of Siren, waving goodbye as he TPs out of there, and Consonoob also able to fall back. It's looking like Nighthawks are going to have a pretty solid hold on this point. Consonoob probably going to be able to contest this just before they cap it. Buy a little bit of time for his team to actually regroup, get back, and we'll see Siren also trying to kind of run that disruption, but they aren't able to stop the cap as Sapphire pretty far back. Nighthawks quickly pushing past the first point here and getting onto this really, really hard second point.
And the way that SNHU played that, Consonoob engaged a lot really early, the kill box that he was trying to set up with his slam, way ahead of the sight lines that Sapphire were able to play into. Also playing Sojourn, a character that can't do consistent burst damage. It's really only with that rail, so no one able to really follow up, and the rest of them just collapsed there in the end. But a huge dive already. Both supports once again are dead.
And that's going to be 3 quick kills there for the Nighthawks. Just Osiren and Console Noob left, and Osiren gets taken out. Just the lone Ball left to try and hold this. The Nighthawks are going to get a lot of progress off of this for free, kind of establishing a lot of control here on this high ground. It's going to be tough for Sapphire to actually push back into the area that they need to be defending here, especially with how consistent Elp and Tensor have been at just diving in. But with Nova getting taken out there by a kunai headshot from Biso, that could be an opening as the Nighthawks disruption falls a little bit. Elp taking a ton of damage right here. Will get Suzu'd. They won't have it up again. Pepto will get taken out, but Biso able to knock down Elp out of the sky. Osiren getting that recall. Tensor falling. Sapphire still 4 strong, able to push back the Nighthawks for a bit here and kind of regain their ground.
Yeah, basically a full mirror match, but Genji, Sojourn, the only ones really splitting. SNHU, once they're established, they just need to be really careful with Pepto. There is one dive target in this comp. Yeah. And it is Sean Pepto Durba, the one that they're all going to be looking at. Especially when Slide is used, he is going to be public enemy #1.
Yeah, the moment that gets called out, right? Oh, yeah. It is going to be Elp and Nova and Tensor and Genji, and just the entire team is going to be trying to flood him, and that's what we've been seeing. That's how, I mean, they kind of crumbled around on the first point as well. Biso trying to get a hit onto Nova here, trying to keep his team alive, but Elp going in on Pepto there. See, Biso trying to go in deep for this as the Blade comes out from Blue Man, is able to take down Consonoob, just looking to focus him and melt him down as they continue to push the cart forward. Pepto trying to just play around this corner, but an entire team running up on him as he gets back up to high ground. Ton of healing coming out, but just not enough for that combo coming out from Elp. Now Console Noob trying to contest on the cart here. Pulse Bomb going out, but goes wide, and now Console Noob just getting shredded here by Nova, and that is a late sound barrier that's only going to cover Biso in One Trick here. Not quite what you want to see, especially as the Nighthawks come up on the second point. They have to try and contest right now. The Kitsune Rush coming out, as well as the Overclock could be a big opportunity here, but a sound barrier from Noct, as well as that Primal Rage is looking to try and counter things, and Pepto can't even find a kill as Elp just runs at him, holding down left click, able to find that kill. Siren also falling. One Trick goes down, only 2 players left, Biso and Console Noob, and now no healers left. Just Consolnoob left to contest for as long as possible, trying to burn down their clock, but they will be able to push through and take this second point.
Yeah, Consoloob was relying on getting that primal early, so when he lands, he was at 99 when he died. Nova just did too much damage. You talk about that second point being a meat grinder. I think the Nighthawks agree because they used 5 ults to take that. 5 versus 4, both teams so committed to trying to hold that one or flip it depending on the side. They were so committed to that that almost everything got used. But that leaves SNHU with an advantage here depending on how aggressively they want to take in this primal. But they're just stalemating now. The first ones to engage, no ult, it's Nova.
Yeah, he's just hopping right in, Elp diving in on the back line, but it will give an opportunity for Noob to dive in, taking down Blue Man, Nighthawks, Genji. They continue to push forward here. Osiren's getting melted though, but Biso with a good Suzu is going to be able to heal up a lot of his team. Pulse Bomb stuck on a constant, but good Primal Rage to try and keep himself alive as he starts to dive in, just trying to disrupt right now. Elp is going to end up falling to Pepto, and the rest of Sapphire right now is right now they're just continuing to push forward. Nighthawks getting pushed back into their spawn. It's a decent hold from Sapphire, but they are really pushed right up against these spawn doors.
Yeah, this is the kind of aggression that I like to see. They just can't be too overcommitted once this bubble goes down. Now they have to disengage. Once the cooldown's back up, they could take a little bit of a leapfrog approach with it, but they'll give up space, let them retake it, and then go for the dive. That's how you have to play it, but right now they're dealing with a Dragon Blade. Oh, Blue Man gets nothing from that.
Yeah, and now the Kitsune rushes are about to come up soon, but the Nighthawks might not choose to spend it here. As Biso and Osiren go down, though, so does Pepto. That's 3 kills for the Nighthawks. Consolnoob trying to dive in on the backline, trying to make things even here, but with one trick going down, it's just Consolnoob on the front line here, and he has to try and run back to get back onto the cart. He's getting shredded by the entirety of the Nighthawks right now as Nova finds that kill. Sapphire stuck, respawning, have to try and stop the bleeding soon.
I think we're going to see a lot of ultimates get spent here once it hits this next corner. Both teams are going to be very hungry to regain control or maintain control that they already have. I also was going to say, maybe I was expecting to swap, but right now something has to happen for Sapphire, especially with a Pulse Bomb onto Consolnoob, and he's getting pummeled by this Genji.
Yeah, and he's going to get taken out immediately as the Kitsune Rush comes out from Tensor. Biso is taken out, can't counter it, and now Sunbear coming out to one trick, trying to keep himself alive, but it's just Osiren left trying to contest in time. Pulse Bomb going out, but it goes wide. Suzu is going to be able to keep the team alive, and the Nighthawks get a full capture with 2 minutes left on the clock and a team kill, just to add insult to injury.
That was just a very slow game from SNHU against literally the fastest comp you could possibly run.
Yeah.
I guess technically you could have ball go a little faster, but in terms of the 0 to 100 pace of the comp, right? The monkey goes to set up, he says, I'm going map. And there is a very short period of time from that to when he lands and when the actual fight has begun and kind of exploded, right? The burst windows all happen at the same time between leap, dash, Tracer blinking in and doing her damage, usually confirming those kills afterwards. It is a really quick 0 to 100 comp, so Sapphire has to speed up the way that they're playing this. They're just getting sort of bullied when they try to walk in and play this slow, and you can see Tracer now played by Pepto instead. A small change here. What will Osiren play as part of the pivot? Why they'd want to switch that up?
I mean, we're seeing a pretty big mirror come out right now. I'm not sure if I'll see the Genji, but we're going to see the Ramatra come out from Noob, actually, switching off of the Winston. And that could be a pretty good way to actually try and slow down the Nighthawks a little bit. I mean, Nighthawks playing on defense this time. They're looking to really overwhelm Sapphire before they can really get around the point, try and catch them out off guard. And like you said, one of the scary things about this team composition is that the moment that someone's out of position, the entirety of the Nighthawks are on top of you. And that is, there's almost no way to deal with that much damage coming through at once.
I think I'd rather see Pepto play. Okay.
There we go.
Didn't even finish talking. This is a comp that you really can't dive anyone. You really cannot dive anyone in this comp other than Kiriko once all of her CDs are spent, right? You cannot specifically isolate and dive anyone in that comp, which is what the Nova Nighthawks want to do with their comp, right? So we'll see them play probably really tight together, not let them go in. The only thing they'll get from diving them is a lot of cleave damage right now. Constantly now spending the Nemesis already, immediately. Game plan faltered for almost the first time this map.
I love Consolnoob popping that immediately, able to just put a ton of damage right away and really bolster up his health. Now, out of that Anomnic form, Elpa's going to fall down to the amount of damage that's just coming through from the entire team. Nemesis mode back up already. Tensor ends up falling, and now it's looking a lot like our first round here. Sapphire already starts to get on the point, start finding some progress here. Pepto trying to harass the backline here, trying to just force them to fall back and get some healing. Sapphire going to be able to capture the second third of this point so far. Nighthawks have to go in for the contest soon, and they will as they fly in. But Elp trying to get in, will get booped back. Biso gets taken down immediately, just shredded, and Elp can't stay alive. One Trick finding that kill, and now Sapphire got a decent advantage here with no frontline for the Nighthawks, continuing to just push into this team fight. Pepto and Osiren are both going to find kills. Nova and knocked her down. Osiren get traded out, but Console Noob in Nemesis mode is just shredding through the Nighthawks. Blue Man Tensor fall down. Sapphire is going to be able to capture this first point just as fast as the Nighthawks did.
Love the early use of Nemesis form, because the earlier you spend that, right, the sooner you're going to have it back faster. If you use Nemesis to live through the burst damage that Nova Nighthawks wants to land on you, right, that this comp wants to do. You Nemesis, you live through it, you get healed by Kiriko enough, probably don't even need to do Suzu, honestly, with all that armor that he gains with that. You're going to have it again once that fight actually goes long, but a double pulse opens things right back up.
That's going to burn some time off of Sapphire there as the Nighthawks continue to just push forward and clean up this fight. A really good ultimate just swung that and burned about 20 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds here off the clock for Sapphire, and that is going to add up quickly if these big impactful ultimates keep coming out. For the Nighthawks here, they do have some big ones coming up too as they come close on getting all 4 ultimates other than Pulse Bomb right now. Sapphire also coming up close to that as well.
Lots of ults for Sapphire, actually. We'll see what they want to spend first. I could see them looking just for an early pulse, maybe saving Blossom for post-deflect, maybe post-Suzu. Just one of those cooldowns is probably enough for Osiren to want to pull the trigger on that, but they're not going to beat till this bubble's gone, and the Blade got them already. Isolated was Biso and a counter beat now for the Nighthawks.
Yeah, Death Blossom didn't do too much there, but Biso, yeah, got taken out right away. That Soundberry is going to do a good job of keeping the rest of Sapphire alive, but the Kitsune Rush comes out for the Nighthawks, and Biso at 95% just can't match it out of the fight right now. Annihilation coming out from Console, just trying to stay alive as much as he can, trying to mirror the Primal Rage. Elp able to fly back out of Console, just runs forward holding that block button. Sapphire managed to stabilize the situation a bit here. They're still pushing forward right now, and the rest of their team has regrouped with them.
4 ults again, only Pulse versus Kitsune Rush. They have to spend Kitsune if they want to have an advantage, but they're probably waiting for Osiren to get back here. Now that they have him, they're going to pop this. Console Noob knocks so low. Suzu eaten. No way to save him 1 for 1.
And that is just, that is a tragedy as Biso and Console Noob go down the entirety of the front line here. But Osiren and One Trick are making it work as they take down Noct and Elp, matching the kills that they just found. And now it's just Blue Man on the point, able to take him out. Sapphire continue to push forward here, closing in on this second point.
Yeah, people seem to have forgotten, but Reaper and Kitsune Rush, pretty good. There's a kind of a reason why it was like the win condition in the Overwatch League meta just before this. Osiren's putting out a lot of pressure here, but the Nighthawks, they know an advantage when they see one, and they are trying to apply it, but they disengage just as fast.
Console Noob here taking the high ground here. We'll have to worry about getting harassed by Blue Man here, but going to fall back, rejoin the rest of his team as they get ready for this next team fight about to break out here very, very soon. It's Nighthawks just grouped up around the cart. Sapphire are so close to pushing this across the checkpoint. This is a big, big moment for the Nighthawks to try and stake this, try and burn as much time here as they can.
They have some good positioning above them here, but look at this death ball that this dive comp is running, and Genji very low. Already using the deflect, getting saved, but no Suzu now. That could be an opening for them.
And Biso is going to get taken out there as Elp just runs up onto the high ground, harassing Sapphire's backline. The Sound Barrier going to go after One Trick, keep his team alive. Osiren has Death Blossom ready, and he's going to kill 3. 4 with that as he pushes through the Nighthawks. Sapphire capture this second point right here, and they've got 3.5 minutes to try and push it all the way.
And that's what Death Blossom is going to do in this comp if you have a resource taken out ahead of time, right? Last time, they had, I think, just a bunch in the way, but Nighthawks were panicking. They came in, they used Bubble. I think they got the Lucio, so beat wasn't on the table. He knew that was going to be the way to win that fight. But the pace the Nighthawks are playing at, they're going to have a lot of fights before this point is over. And honestly, that headshot might even be the reason for them to pull the trigger. Gas pedals hit, they're coming in.
Console Noob going to pop Nemesis mode, trying to get in on this back line here. Dragon Blade comes out, forced to deflect though, forced to try and play defensive, and he is going to get taken out by Console Noob there. Pepto also finds Elp with that Pulse Bomb, continuing to push through. It's going to be Tensor who ends up falling next, just Noct and Nova, and Noct is not long for this world as Nova escapes, trying to regroup with the rest of his team in the spawner. And we'll see if SNHU let him escape. Osiren, he smells blood right now, and Biso is going to be the one to finish off that kill as Sapphire now halfway to the finish line.
I think as Sapphire have been rationing their ultimates and winning fights, but Nova Nighthawks have just been not spending. So they have a lot to come in with, and Kitsune Rush will be what they start things off.
You're going to see Nemesis mode come out from Console. He has Annihilation here, but he's going to get stuck. Not going to take any damage from blocking, and the Suzu coming out as well. Also just trying to stay alive at 100 health. Will end up falling there as Blue Man finds that kill. Biso also going to end up going down. The Kitsune Rush did come out though for Sapphire, but this team fight is pretty much all but lost here as Osiren is not going to be able to teleport back up in time. An unfortunate loss of that Kitsune Rush, but Sapphire, they're getting into a good spot for this Annihilation as they close in on the end of this map.
Yeah, I think it was a huge misstep trying to spend that with the ults that were already spent. I mean, it was literally 4. Now, well, yeah, literally 4 that they popped there, but still a few that they will have, and now it's a full mirror comp. Both teams dropping the Tracer on this more straightforward point and looking to just trade damage, find a cooldown spent they can utilize right away, but Nemesis Form popped under not much pressure. That could be actually what makes Nighthawks start running in, and they've already traded more cooldowns.
Yeah, we're going to see, trying to stay alive. Annihilation going to come out for that double Nemesis mode. And Osiris, the Death Blossom as well, will be able to take down Blue Man. Elf, Nova, Fall. Just 2 players left for the Nighthawks. And Constantine continuing to push forward. Is going to find the last 3 kills. And Sapphire are going to be able to push the cart all the way. A little bit less time on the clock than the Nighthawks, but this is not what you usually see on Blizzard World.
This is a very back and forth game here. That was on them switching the comp, right? They really tried to make that initial comp work on their defense. On attack, they say, looks like they're going to play the same thing. They swapped this different tank in, probably just to play Monkey, just to play this comp. His Ramatra, we didn't see enough of it to really judge. I mean, he used, I think, 1 cycle of every cooldown, and then they got annihilated on and walked out. I mean, there's nothing you can really do about that. Though, real way to tell that from here, what he picks here will be my tell. It's on defense, so they can't swap plates. We can actually make judgments based on that, and it's dive again.
All right.
It's dive again. This is what they feel like they really need to play.
Something interesting with Sapphire's offensive line right here. Seeing the double flanker, the Tracer Sombra come out.
That could just be in a spot, or he could just be getting somewhere goofy and spawn.
That's
that
true.
Reaper was doing work. I would be surprised if they make the swap.
We'll see. The Sombra, I mean, Sombra got changed in the most recent season. They tried to buffer a little bit here, but how effective do you think that actually was?
She's all right.
Yeah.
She's better than Dogwater, which is what she was before, right? She definitely was really bad in the previous patch. I wouldn't be surprised to see Osiren, just because there's only a minute, right? You don't want to sacrifice all of your ult charge to see what they're running. He's probably going to run out, see what they're playing, TP back, and they're all going to spawn.
Yeah.
I'm almost 100% that's say what's going to happen. I'm surprised they're even moving with them, to be honest. Or he's maybe going for an early hack pick. He might just go right back to spawn. He doesn't see anything, so no real info, but he's already back in spawn, and he's already on Reaper.
All right. A good switch there. The Sombra really seems to struggle outside of matchups against Ball, and even then it seems a little bit gimmicky. But now pushing forward here, Biso has to deal with this Tracer on top of him, forced to use the Suzu, trying to climb up to stay alive. Elf goes down, though, to Osiren, and now Sapphire have a big opening to continue to push forward here as Blue Man also ends up falling. One Trick able to find that kill, taking down Tensor as well, continuing to push forward with the team. Nova in a weird spot right now. Will be forced to recall, pop that right in the middle of the entire team, though, and Pepto, the rest of Sapphire, just running down Nova right now. Constantly would be able to take him down, and they're already capturing this first point right now.
He lived through the burst window.
That's true.
And they won the fight. That's literally it. Biso did not die pre or post Suzu. He Suzu'd exactly when the burst window was coming in, climbed the wall so the damage was mitigated from fall off, and then they won because they killed Monkey because they just couldn't do that through the window. So good heads up play by them. The switches that they made, I think, being really effective right now. Pepto just can't die. This would be last fight potential if he does, and he's stuck with no blinks in the back line.
Yeah, dangerous position for him, and we see Nighthawks trying to just close in on him, trying to find him, but really scared of losing this high ground here. He will win the Tracer duel, takes down Nova, and that is big, but he will get traded out by Blue Man there. Both Tracers down in this overtime team fight here as we see Nighthawks start to try and push up, get ready to contest, waiting for a good opportunity, maybe waiting for Nova to regroup here. Pulse Bomb up for Nova could be a huge opportunity. We're going to see Constantine pop that Nemesis mode, trying to just get as much damage out as he can, but he is taking a ton. Pulse Bomb goes out. It is able to take down Constantine, and this could be catastrophic here for Sapphire as they lose their front line. All of them just taking a ton of damage as the Nighthawks are able to push forward here. All of them full health, very, very healthy and durable right now. The Sound Barrier going to come out from One Trick as he builds up to it. Kitsune Rush almost out from Biso. They could get this out first here, but Tensor is able to build it up at the same time. They're going to be mirroring back and forth right now, but the blade comes out from Blue Man here as well as the Sound Barrier for the Nighthawks. I mean, 4 quick kills for the Nighthawks. Just Console Noob left, but he's not able to get the touch in time. That's going to be as far as Sapphire make it right there. It's going to be up to the Nighthawks to try and match that.
Literally, life and death can be between a step in this game. Constantine thought he had to stay contest, wasn't waiting for someone to be more mobile, like Tracer or Reaper to go for it. Thought he had to walk into the pulse, so he did. He thought he had to maintain that overtime. losing their tank. I think Sapphire did as well as they could have in that delayed engagement afterwards. They got beat first. They just could not focus a target down. Maybe put more priority on Kiri heals. They have an advantage if Rush comes up, purely because they have Reaper, right? Reaper in Kiriko Rush is a chainsaw. He does so much frontal damage that you really cannot deal with or mitigate or out heal with what they're running. Torbjorn. And it's not me.
It's not you.
It's not me.
It's not you, which is how I know that this isn't. This could be a real pick right here.
What do you mean? I always play it.
You're always trying to break the meta. I know it.
I'm not trying to break the meta. It's just good. It's just good.
Sell me on the Torbjorn right now.
Sell you on the Torbjorn?
Yeah.
They're playing Turbo Dive. They're playing Monkey Tracer Genji.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to just put a turret down on an off angle. They're going to burst window. He's going to overload the burst window, or Biso's going to Suzu the burst window, however they want to play it. And they're just going to die to the turret or be forced to shoot it. Yes, it got nerfed by 25 HP in the last patch. It really doesn't mean
it dies pretty effortlessly no matter what.
Yeah, it does not mean anything. They are spotting spawn right now, though. And, okay, I was going to say, One-Trick could die, but not this time right now. They're still holding forward here, and we'll see how this Torb kind of does on this, but already some good poke, actually, from Constantine on them. Please don't go for hammer kills.
We're seeing him run back up. I will say I was sitting next to Pepto earlier during open hours here, and I did see him trying to farm some hammer kills.
I was in that comp game, so yeah, no, I hope he doesn't do that here. That's what he was practicing for.
Constantine able to find a javelin kill there on the blue man. Nighthawks trying their best to stay alive. Did pop Suzu there to keep themselves up. Spiso trying to go in, trying to keep Pepto alive again. Shocked by Elp. Barely alive. Will be able to fall back. Knocked in, falling as the Siren finds a double kill. Also taking down Winston. That is the Nighthawks front line down. And Sapphire have had a great hold so far. Doing a good job at spending a lot of the Nighthawks time. And they're not going to get any more back.
And a great stagger here as well. Maybe they can find Genji too, but probably not worth committing that hard on it. Biso broke their ankles. I mean, there's no way around saying that. He should be dead, but managed to kite using that rowboat, kind of mixing up where Elp thought he was going to be chasing. But now, they've pulled way further back. They don't have this forward pressure. They're trying to bait them into where their turret is set up for the cross-angle for Pepto, but they're very close to lava. They are so close to this molten core. They could just molten core the dive if Pepto gets it in time, but they're going to go faster, I think, than they're going to be willing for. But Biso, early pick on the Tracer.
Great pick. They're going to take down one of the Nighthawks' offensive line. Blue Man's going to have to be a majority of the damage coming out here, and the carpet coming out from Pepto as he puts that down, only covering a little bit of the point, forcing the Nighthawks back. They're very, very disorganized right now and very split. The Siren going in on the backline. Pulse Bomb going out. Not going to be able to find a kill, but will get a ton of damage there onto Elp as Constantine's able to finish them off. One-Trick now continuing to push forward here with the team. Does have Sound Barrier ready, which is going to be a big, big deal for Nighthawks' next dive. The Sound Barrier can completely shut it down. And also looking at other ultimates coming up for Sapphire, Kitsune Rush coming up very soon. But the Nighthawks will be able to match it.
I mean, they'll be able to match in strides. They are about to have 4 ultimates, and they're if they beat, they're getting primal, right? If Winston can get away with standing on you because of beat, they will have primal. This is going to have to be a incredible fight. They might even want to go do it completely dry, not spend a single one, so that they can win the next overtime fight after they spend 5. But Rush is early and Suzu out.
Yeah, that's a big, big cooldown spent. Blue Man just not able to find anything with these blades. Been unlucky all game, and now Constanoob still holding on to that high ground. Going to be a big deal as Elp tries to dive in on Pepto, but he's separated from the rest of his team right now, and that's going to be free reign for the rest of Sapphire as Constanoob finds that first pick there onto Nock. Now continuing to push through into the fight. Looking to try and take out Tensor right here. Biso doing a great job keeping his team alive. Tensor will finally fall as Constanoob finds that kill. Now with no healing, they got to try and stay alive on this point somehow as Nova and Elp end up falling. Timer ticking down, and it's going to be Sapphire who hold on to this game now 2-0.
5 ults.
That was crazy.
They spent 5 ults, and not only did they not get the point, they didn't get a single kill.
I'll say, apologies to Blue Man here. He has been so unlucky with these blades every single time. It has been really hard for him to find a ton of value with them.
That was honestly, it was mostly just the beat from One-Trick. That beat from One-Trick, I think, countered 3 ults?
It was pretty big.
It was a pretty big beat.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, and it was like absolutely the turnaround because then they just started panicking. They just started throwing out ults. They were like, I'm going to primal the Tracer. And just started pummeling him off to not the Tracer, the Torbjorn.
Yeah.
Knocked him all the way to second. We cut back to him. I don't know what happens. There's a hard cut. The director's cut.
I hope he lived.
Yeah, he definitely lived. No, we cut back to him. He was just walking around hammering.
Yeah, he lived. He came back in the sequel. Just somehow won that fight off screen, and Elp came back.
Yeah.
And, I mean, just the moment that they came back after that sound barrier canceled out, just like 3 ultimates, they fell immediately.
Yeah.
They lost their 2 supports, and there was just nothing the 3 remainers could do, holding up against just the amount of sustained damage that SNHU had with the Orisa, the Torbjorn, everything there was just an incredible hold.
Yeah, I think the support play by the end was really the game changer, right? From both of them, right? Because Gavin Biso lived through a lot of dives and pressure that was coming in. One trick had beat exactly when he needed to. He was there to peel for them. He was disrupting what they wanted to do, booping blades, right? Both of them, I think, were the real turnarounds by the end and made it why Nighthawks, their dive struggled, right? They are the tail. If you watch DP's Fundamentals of Overwatch video, they were the tail. You're supposed to dive the tail. They were not killable. So you can't play dive. And they just kept trying to force it over and over. But heading to Escort, again, now that they've seen 2 very different sides of this team, right? They have seen we play Orisa slow, we play Monkey fast, right?
Yeah.
They've seen that. There's really nowhere they can go that Nighthawks are probably going to feel uncomfortable. So now I might expect to see them head back to like a comfort band for them.
Yeah, and I mean, just the kind of whiplash between those 2 different playstyles that we saw between Lijiang Tower and Blizzard World, Sapphire have to be feeling pretty comfortable right now. We're able to weather the storm of both those. Blizzard World, a much, much closer game, a very scary game there at the end, but still really hanging on to that in a good way. And I'll just say that final round where Sapphire held, they did a fantastic job because the first 3 rounds, the first point was gone in like 20 seconds. It was a non-factor. It was all second and third point, and Sapphire were able to hold on there for 2 straight minutes, which unheard of today.
That used to be one of our favorite first hold points.
Yeah.
Overwatch 1 with like Ash Tracer Ball just engaging on like this one specific point the teams just got on a conveyor belt until they got to.
Yeah.
It was great, but very different game. Very, very different game now.
A much deadlier game now.
My question about the next map that we're getting to, right? Because it's a different game, right? Snipers are very good in this game now. Season 3 map pool is insane for snipers. Junkertown, Circuit Royale, and Havana are all in the pool. We have not seen an ounce of that from the Nighthawks, right? We haven't seen Hanzo. We haven't seen Widow. We haven't seen either of those characters. We haven't seen Ash, even like the pseudo snipers, right? We haven't seen any of those type of picks. There's no water. I'm sorry. There's 1 water.
That's so sad. That's so sad.
Oh, he hid one. He hid one in the bottom. He has a water. He got the last one.
Don't trust Pepto. If Pepto tells you that he doesn't have any water, he's lying.
I'm checking his vegetable drawer if he has water. But Rialto, the map that's banned, so it's not what we're going to see. We could expect to see, again, there's like 3 sniper maps, and then there's what, Shambali, Dorado? We have it ready, so I guess we can find out.
Let's see what it is. It is going to be Dorado.
Yeah, I assume they're keeping Alpin, right? I think they have to, right? They have to be keeping Alpin. They're going to play Monkey on this map. It's the Monkey map. But Gonzanoob is comfortable on Winston as well. I would probably expect that exact style of comp. They might even run the same Winston, Reaper, Tracer, or Sojourn. If they think they're going to run Monkey, they're going to play Tracer instead of Sojourn.
Now, on defense here on Dorado, are we expecting to still see the Monkey coming out? Or are we going to see something like Ramatra or Sigma?
I think it should be Monkey. I think you can basically... Okay, so I watch one Overwatch streamer. I watch one Overwatch streamer. His name is LH Cloud.
Good pick.
Okay.
Good pick.
Yeah. Do you know LH Cloud?
I do.
Okay, yeah. Rank 1 Reinhardt, rank 1 EU tank because he only plays Reinhardt, right? He plays Monkey on Dorado. He just, as soon as he gets Dorado, he doesn't even think about locking Ryan. He just picks Monkey.
Well, the verticality is just so important.
Yes. Yeah. And like, none of that with Sig, none of that with Ramatra. Yeah. None of that with Orisa. I guess you can kind of argue with Ball, but Monkey is just so much more consistent.
I mean, with how strong dive is in Overwatch 2, because people will just die. There is so much less peel. Yes. You really see like where you see like, oh, there's a good option for a high ground hold here. So you would think like, oh, maybe Sigma to try and hold that, but that's a really defensive hold. And then you really benefit from characters like Winston and just being able to suddenly switch to being very offensive the moment that you see someone step out of line, which is very likely if they're playing offense. You have to take a ton of risks.
And if you're playing Sigma on defense against Winston, I mean, what are you hitting? Here's what happens. Here's what's going to happen, right? If you play Sigma against Winston on defense, it can work if you are really oppressive. Like if you're DPS, you're really relying on your DPS at that point to hit shots before they come in. Once they engage, here's what happens. You try to rock. As you throw it, he bubbles. Then you hands on your character, on your to where you're trying to save, as you just watch them die to zap.
Yeah.
Because Genji just dashed through and Tracer meleeed and Winston's zapping, and there's literally nothing you can do.
Yeah.
You have to play on a map where you can kind of create enough space between where you're holding and your backline that they can take advantage of that like pressure you're putting on. Like your shield can be all the way at the choke. It doesn't have to be right in front of you as a backline, right? That's why you see Sigma on circuit. Because Sigma, yeah, he starts right in front of them. Because they want to be taking like that forward angle. But then as soon as you get around that, Sigma's not sitting right in front of the snipers unless they just want to fight. Sigma is like up. He is pressuring them when they try to go around the corner so they more easily walk into your sniper's line of fire.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting to see how they play Dorado here. I mean, it's a very different season than the majority of what we saw, which was season 1.
I think it's night again, though. By the way, I think it is back to night, which is a little disappointing because I think the new production just said it's back to night.
It makes sense because when it was daytime lighting, all of the internal lighting was still on. Like,
see, no, it was a mid power. That doesn't mean any of that. Nothing to the map. The map designers just think that people who live in Dorado do not care about the environment.
It makes sense because Third Point on Dorado is a big power plant. So, why not leave your lights on all the time?
If you
live
generating
right next to
value for themselves.
It could actually, that's actually a lore detail, is that all the lights are on during the day.
because they're generating, because they're like, if the lights go off, they know something's wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the only way they could tell.
If you live right next to it, you probably work at that power plant too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they all work
I mean, the commute to work is so nice.
Basically just a corporate town.
Yeah, but more or less. It's like those like shell houses they put around like factories in like the 50s or something.
Yeah, it's to make it look like a city.
Yeah.
No one actually lives there.
Have you seen anyone in Dorado? I rest my case.
I've seen maybe 5 people on Dorado in the trailer.
Maybe. On the trail. That's true. Those are the only people.
It didn't seem like a very,
They were just like kids going in there to look at it. Like when you go into like an abandoned factory and take pictures. That's what that was.
And then they got like grenades thrown at them.
That's crazy.
Let's see if that's still the case. Let's go ahead and hop into game here
I bet
on
it is.
Dorado. I bet there's probably going to be a few grenades, but unfortunately, this isn't Pearl. I don't know if we'll see the Junkrat as much as I would love to see.
So you can leave the lights on inside. I guess it's nighttime now, but
are
the lights on in the daytime one too?
Yes,
inside the houses.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, yes, all of the windows have internal lighting on in the daytime version.
That's crazy to me. You know what else is crazy to me? Farmers.
It's interesting.
On defense.
Every time I see Farm Mercy come up, I'll hear all the Overwatch players around me go like, "Oh, but it's not good. It's not good." And we're seeing it here on defense. There's a lot of airspace to work with here. But how do we feel about it?
It's hard on defense. The way that you have to play Pharah, and it's kind of something that I took over from. This is a really weird call out, but I promise you it makes sense. I sort of took the way you play Pharah from Paladins.
Okay.
Drogos and Paladins.
Sure. Yeah.
The way that he was always played in the Pro League in that was like, oh, he's just a sniper that takes really weird angles.
Yeah.
And that's how you have to play Pharah, right? That's how you have to play Pharah. You play her as a sniper at weird angles. You can dive only sometimes, but you can just avoid that on maps like this, I feel like, where you can really choose your own engages. But Biso might be struggling into it a little bit. No mobility, choosing to repeat chokes just to orb someone, right? That could be tough. But they're playing this really aggressive, and they might get punished for this, but booped back early, just shooting this shield. What is the rest of Sapphire doing?
I mean, we saw Siren switch over to Soldier there, perhaps in response to the Pharmacy here, but Elp, along with that Pharmacy, is going to be able to take down one trick here. Console Doom now diving in on the Nighthawks forward line. Biso gets taken out, though, separated from his tank, and now Sapphire having a tough time just getting out of their spawn here. Nighthawks playing very forward here on top of Red, just taking a ton of space.
I think what the members of Sapphire have to realize is that they can't really play these backlines. I don't think that you can't really play Zen into this. Now they're playing Kiriko. This is a big change, and this is a combination of characters I have not seen from this team in a while. This is definitely a very interesting mix, and we'll see how the D.Va plays into it. I mean, D.Va is very good into Pharmacy. Bar none. Like, you can negate a lot of damage, but they need to make something happen in that period where they're not able to do anything.
Yeah, Nova and Blue Man. Nova popping Barrage as well. Be able to take down Biso. 3 players dead on Sapphire. Console Noob trying to get back. One trick will end up falling. Console Noob actually going to get demec'd here, and this is pretty catastrophic. This is going to be a big stagger, and they're just not going to kill him.
I'm trying to think of what the pivot here would really be. I mean, maybe Biso and Kiriko is probably fine. I think the Echo is a good choice. Switching Osiren to the Tracer is good, but they are constantly swapping. They're losing a lot of ults, right? They haven't gained an ult yet. You've already seen a barrage come out from Nova, right? You've already seen a barrage come out from Nova. A lot. They're charging faster. They're getting fight wins because of that. Ooh. But if you're just going to hit stickies like that, I guess you don't need any ults.
Yeah, just blow up one half of the thing that's been oppressing you this entire time, and now you see how the Nighthawks immediately fall back. As soon as that Mercy falls, they have to fall back here behind the arch into the plaza, and now this is going to be a big opportunity for Sapphire to start to push forward here and make some progress into this first point here. There's one trick. Also on the Mercy, just helping out that Echo and helping out the damaging line here. Pepto able to find a pick there on Blue Man. Kitsune Rush is going to come out from Tensor. Biso can't quite match it yet, but Tensor's going to get melted down. Not going to try to pop the Valkyrie to try and keep his team alive, but not doing too hot right now. Pulse Bomb coming out, not able to find too much. Noob's able to take down Tensor there, and now Diva Bomb coming out, not going to find anything. Elk forced to pop the Primal Rage here, trying to stay alive. Pepto hits a ton of stickies on that though, and now he's got to be really careful about where he is actually playing here. Gonna see the duplication come out here onto the Winston. Pepto up in the sky, gonna take down Noct. He is home. He's back on the tank roll. This looks like Overwatch 1 again, and now he's alive. He's in the air. He's still trying to find these kills. Nova's gonna end up going down, and Sapphire, I mean, they're about to push right up on this first point here. An excellent team fight there, and Pepto just doing a great job getting back into that Echo role.
Echo is such a good pick into Mercy, especially now in Season 3. Yeah, Mercy does more healing below 50%. Okay, I do more damage below 50%.
And she's a lot slower now, too. Her jump is slower.
Her backwards jump. If she backwards GAs, she gets less momentum. So it doesn't look like she's just ping-ponging back and forth. And also, she lost her boosted regen and only gets healing other than the regular support passive from actually healing people.
Yes.
So less sustainable, less fast, but way better at keeping people alive. So if your Mercy is getting caught out, you can kind of abuse her more than before, but if a Mercy is very good, you theoretically should be getting more value.
Yeah. Seeing Nova here find that pick onto Osiren, but see Pepto immediately trade that one back out now. Only 3 players from the Nighthawks here who are actually up in the front line. Sticky's going out. Noct is going to end up going down as Pepto finds that kill, now trying to take down Tensor, and he will be able to find that kill. Elp falling back, trying to get back the rest of the team, and the Nighthawks have been on the retreat for so long here, ever since this Echo came out of spawn, and the Nighthawks, I mean, they swap off the pharmacy there. They're going over to the Ashe, and I think that this is a pretty good reaction.
Yeah, the full swap here, but man, there's just something about SNHU running Echo when they are down.
Yeah, true.
Right? Why does this keep happening? It doesn't matter who's playing it. It could be me. It could be Pepto. It literally does not matter. As bomb is spent just to keep Noob in the fight. I think that's smart. We'll see what they can get with aggression here. Visor, Pepto has to hit everything, and he will.
That was insane, canceling out that tactical visor. Noct also going to take out the duplication coming out. He's back on the Winston. Tensor goes down. Continue to just push forward. Blue Man's going to get taken out. Elf falls. It's pretty much a team kill there. We're going to see some swaps coming out as Noct switches over to the Brigitte for this third point right here. A very, very tough situation for the Nighthawks. Sapphire have just been steamrolling so far, and Nova's actually going to get picked off again, and that's a big stagger.
Yeah, huge on that here. Now they're switching. I feel like they should have stayed Ashe. I'm going to be honest. I think Ashe is way better at dealing with Echo than the Soldier was. But now they've dropped to the Sojourn. It's pretty much just pressure on Small Blue Man to at least dissuade the Echo from pushing, right? You're not going to guarantee a kill, but you can at least slow things down. But right now, Noob getting slowed way down to the grave here. Caught out a little bit aggressive up top, now taken out by an early Primal. Not a lot of pressure on Elp for this. Still winnable fight for them if they shoot the right squishies, but Nova totally out of this fight.
Yeah, now trying to get in on this Mercy. Will be able to fall back here. Pepto stuck in this corner, and we see one trick just bouncing around, down to half health right now, but back into cover, staying alive. Sapphire doing a great job of staying up, but actually Pepto is going to get picked off by that railgun there, and that is going to be what they look to answer this Echo with, is with the Sojourn as well as the Cassidy. I think it's enough of a constant threat to make you kind of feel scared.
Yeah, I would agree. He has to play it a little bit different. I think Cassidy, probably the easiest to land the shots with, but finish them off is obviously a different part of the story here. But right now, setting up inside is Noob. Just going to look to probably mitigate damage when Pepto decides to engage. Has to be close, though. You can see Small Blue Man literally trying to just pre-aim Pepto through the wall. Already taking a lot of stickies and the rush up top. It's a 1-for-1. But SNHU can res this as long as they can protect one trick through it, and that is the res right there. Even numbers, but Biso now the next to fall.
Yeah, bomb going to go out from Noob, trying to stay alive here, and he will be able to get back in his mech before he dies. Pepto very close to death and will get taken out by Nova there. Now on the high ground, taking down one trick as well. 2 quick kills from this Sojourn. The rally out from Noct as well, just keeping his team alive. Noob going to end up falling here as Nighthawks. Great stabilization there. Doing a great job of keeping themselves in this fight, holding on to third in a strong way.
Yeah, Noob gonna try to remake back there. Honestly, they probably should have lined up.
Yeah, you could just kill him again.
I think they would have just been able to kill him again. I mean, I guess at this point they're back. Maybe you think you waste too much time, but they probably could have gotten away with it, honestly, and gotten even more L charge. But they're going to switch to the Monkey now, not really concerned about mitigating some of the damage from that Pharah because there is no longer any Pharah. The shield is going to do a lot more at actually giving Pepto time to breathe on this Echo once they actually commit, but they just have to move there. Wasting too much time, I think, playing the setup here. But early pressure right now, Pepto forced to disengage into it. The next engage is going to be the big one.
And Nova's got this overclock as well, Deadeye as well. This could really slow things down if they use these ultimates right. And one trick just takes a ton of damage there from Deadeye. Pepto now in a weird spot as this overclock comes out. Will be able with the sticky nade to take down Nova. Now just pushing forward. Deadeye's ready. He's going to pop it. He's going to find 2 kills there. Elf trying to get in the front line, trying to avenge his teammates here, but Pepto is doing a great job at staying alive. Going to fall back into Echo. And the Stickies come out here, going to beam down Elf. The Suzu comes through to keep him alive. Now trying to fall back. Tensor doing a great job of keeping him up, but Pepto with another set of stickies is going to be able to take him down, and they're pushing up here 2.7 meters away. Now in a fight with Nova, will be able to win that with the beam, but Tensor comes up to trade it out. Nighthawks are slowly hemorrhaging players right here as Osiren finds a kill. One trick, going to pick up one of his own, just Tensor and Elp, but they can't stop it in time. SNHU able to push it all the way in overtime.
What a final fight that was. The trust from Pepto to, like, you know that Sojourn is not below 50%, but you're like, you might just gonna hit him. You just start focusing beam, literally doing nothing. I mean, what is the DPS focusing beam at base? It's like
above 50%.
Above 50%. It's low.
You were tickling them.
You are. Yeah. It is a funny haha tickle beam below that. But he knew that the damage would get dealt. He trusted the call. Someone said they were going to go for them. So do that. As the moment that Sojourn went below that threshold, dead.
Yeah.
I mean, flat. And Nova had been doing so much for them on that defense. That had to be the focus. Had to be their priority here. Nighthawks, after that, I want to see what nothing. Just Brig.
Yeah, I think this is a good pick here. Just Brig can do a lot. I'm kind of surprised that we're not going to see the Pharmacy come out here on attack. I think it's interesting to play it on defense, but not attack.
Oh,
sorry. They're playing it on attack. This makes more sense to me. I like this.
I was going to say, I mean, yes, they can't do that thing where they just put Widow and spawn and shoot you, but also the defense has pretty good high ground to equalize against you.
Yeah, that's true.
Skybox is huge here. I think you can use it to attack first. I think you swap it for second. I think it's just too easy to equalize on second. The only thing you really have is the Roof of Court.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's not enough.
It's really just a lot of open ground there. But here at the first point here, I think they're going to do a good job of contesting up here around the roof where Console Noob is, but got to be really careful of him jumping in on that Mercy. They're going to have to play very back and very conservative here. And he's actually just going to hop down, trying to get as much damage as he can onto this Mercy, hopping right back up to the roof. And now it's Nova, who's almost dead, will be able to fall back, get back to his team. One trick just hopping across rooftops right here, able to make that gap. Now we see Sapphire just holding on up here. I like the Torbjorn here. It's going to do a great job against the Pharah in the sky.
I think Torbjorn, I mean, he's not going to get the poke on her, but they're honestly just looking to live, and they're playing characters that won't just die to poke, right?
Yeah.
None of them are just going to die to Pharah poke unless you get dove like that, right? Being dove, that's what's going to be the equalizer, but poke won't kill you. Here, but great rail, potentially. Mercy, though, being able to kite away. Very slippery, but not being finished off here. But early damage here. That headshot, actually, from that Kiriko is what's going to open it. No contest on cart this whole time. This might just be the last fight of first.
Yeah, this is not looking great for Sapphire at the moment right here. Bisa will be able to pick up a kill of his own, but he is getting staggered so hard at the moment as the Nighthawks continue to push forward, pushing this cart up to the first checkpoint here. We'll see if Sapphire really want to try and contest this. Looks like they will as Console Noob starts to close in here. Look at the res on the Blue Man, try and equalize things a little bit here. We'll see them trying to take the high ground as Pepto goes back onto that Echo. Will be able to just shred down Elp, and this seems to be a much more comfortable position here for Sapphire as Pepto finds another kill there on Nova, landing a ton of stickies on a knock right there, just tearing through Nighthawks' front line right there. Gonna push them right back into spawn, not gonna let them capture this point right now. And now it could be an issue for Tensor here if he gets caught out, but Swift Step coming out will be able to get him right back into spawn and back to safety.
God, watching Pepto playing Echo right now just makes me embarrassed of my last performance on Echo. I mean, I did what I needed to, but this is extra credit, man, right now. And that's what they're going, and that's going to make them switch to this Echo of their own, but damage boost coming in right now, and a squish on the Lucio. Everything Nighthawks are trying to do, just not working.
Everything's coming up Sapphire right now at the moment, and Elp is going to end up falling 1% away from the Primal Rage. I don't even know if that would have been a good time
shouldn't
to
have. It
pop
would
it
have been
there.
horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have just been bad.
But with the rest of his team dead, I mean, they're just having a hard time really pushing out of spawn together. That's the big issue right now, is that they just cannot push out together. They get separated in some way, or Pepto is able to blow up one of them going on the flank. It is looking crazy strong right now, and they're about to have that duplication up that could be a big pain for Nighthawks.
I feel like they're not even going to use it that aggressively. I think you save the rush for that, and you use Dupe just to save your Echo because he's such a crucial part of your game plan right now. Or even just having a Monkey and a Diva at the same time. Hey, that's old school dive, but the rush comes out first, and the Monkey dive is how they're going to start things off.
Oh, just blowing up Knock, diving in on him, taking down Nova as well with that pulse bomb. Console Noob taking down Tensor. It is 1-1 for the Nighthawks right here as Blue Man next up, actually Elp next up on the chopping block. Blue Man trying to escape in time, but really just wasting time as he is able to get away, but he's just diving even further back and staggering himself even harder as Osiren is able to pick up that kill. A lot of time being burned here for the Nighthawks. Only 50 seconds left.
And this, the ults that they have, not really effective. It's just Primal, and that'll be okay, but not for what they want to really deal with, right? Not for this Echo, not for this Mercy. That'll do a lot. Probably just to be so. There's really no one you're going to hit with it. If he gets one good Swift Step, it might be over here. So got to play a lot on a dry fight, however you can engage. Maybe find a railgun pick early. Soldier going to be so crucial. Siren narrowly escaping death here, but multiple players getting caught out, but Mercy's so good at keeping you alive through so much focus fire.
Oh, Nova, a ton of stickies, barely staying alive. Console Noob trying to close in on this. The Suzu comes through, and they're back to full health right now. Blue Man get taken out by Osiren, though, winning out that Tracer to a bomb going out right into the middle of the courtyard. Only going to do a little bit of damage. Remecking back up, but can't get in before Nova is able to snipe out the pilot. Knock picking up that kill onto Osiren, and the Nighthawks are going to be able to capture this first checkpoint by themselves. An extension here, 2.5 minutes left on the clock.
I don't think they needed to stop and really force them out. I don't know if they knew exactly how many ults they had, but they tried to disrupt them a lot. Not necessarily the name of the game, but Nova Nighthawks, they saw the pressure they were trying to get put on. They hit them with a rail immediately, collapsed. Soldier lived with 1 HP because a great peel. It was just good from them, but right now Tensor winning the duel against Osiren. Osiren maybe getting a little bit too aggressive. Rez will equalize it, but now that means any picks on Pepto will not be able to get finished off.
He's playing very forward here, trying to duel out with Elp, and Nova is going to be able to punish him for being over aggressive there. Blue Man teleporting over to that window, trying to get this angle, staying in the fight up here. One Trick barely staying alive. Biso going to be able to heal him back up, but he's actually run right into this Tracer, and this is a scary situation to be in, but he'll be able to get back up to the high ground here. Console Noob staying alive, just continuing to rain down fire. Osiren staying alive, getting back to that courtyard there. You see One Trick just hopping around. No kills really popping out yet, but Elf in a bad way right now. Very low. Overclock going to come out from Nova, trying to find something here. Pulse Bomb, everything coming out. Kitsune Rush and Rally as well, but Nova knocked. Find these kills. Blue Man able to use that Pulse Bomb on Console Noob to demech him, knocked him with a Shield Bash to finish off the pilot there. Going to be a big team kill for the Nighthawks. They continue to push forward to second here. Doesn't look like they'll actually be able to get here in time before Sapphire has the chance to contest if they want to.
I think they can, but I think they're going to have to spend something, and they're debating probably whether it's worth it right now or not. They actually left. It's actually 1x on cart. Console Noob can absolutely go in and contest this, and he will. Stalling it out right now, plus really close to duplicate. If they get this, Pepto can maybe try to equalize. He's going to go for his main character, and he does get it in the air, avoiding the rail with it as well. This is going to be some early damage. Has to get this overclock. Needs to be pocketed, but everyone comes back to stop him.
That was really unfortunate there. Great play from the Nighthawks to try and shut this down, but they're already down 2, only 3 remaining. Nova so low, but stays alive. Not for long. Console Noob able to finish that one off. Tensor picks Osiren, finding Biso. It's going to be a hard time for Sapphire as they now have to try and play to defend third here. Nighthawks able to capture that checkpoint, and right now just continuing to skirmish. Blue Man finishing up this fight.
The cart lost when it was, as soon as Console went in to get Kiriko, it was the right play, I think, to dive there, but that was right when their contester died, so picked off, they finish up the cap, and they get some staggered kills. Cart's already moving pretty far in. We're going to see Pepto now switching to that Sojourn again. Felt like it was probably pretty good there, but denied on this pressure now. Snoo's going to have to slow things down, and that'll give Nova Nighthawks a great chance to set up.
Yeah, great whip shot to knock Console Noob right back down. He does have Primal Rage coming up, so he'll be able to play really aggressive. Osiren gets picked off, though. Let's see Ultimate come out from One Trick, trying to keep his team alive. Primal Rage comes out as Console Noob goes in, trying to just do as much as he can to disrupt, but it's trading back and forth now as One Trick goes down. Pepto will be able to win out that Sojourn duel, picking up that railgun kill. Trying to find even more now as the disruptive shots go out, just trying to build up this railgun again. Nighthawks just playing the low ground now, trying to pressure Pepto. but gonna have to back up here. It's just trying to find a pick, trying to find some sort of opening. Console Noob's looking pretty low, though, and he's gonna need some big healing to continue to stay alive. Elp diving in. This could be bad, but he's gonna pop Primal Rage to stay alive, and now he is right in on SNHU's backline and doing a great job of just distracting them right now. A scary position to be in. Console Noob right in the middle of everything, so close to going down, and he will. One Trick also ends up falling to that Primal Rage. So close to the finish line right now. Nighthawks almost about to push it in and taking down the entirety of Sapphire. They are going to be able to capture it at the point with a minute 27 left on the clock. A very, very close game.
This is the first time I've seen this many points get finished in a long time. It's no team scrims overtime.
No.
Every single team plays their offense, plays their defense, and then they reset the map. So a lot of new ground kind of being broken when you practice this, especially Console Noob, someone who was on the sub roster in 2019, scrimmed for a week, ended up leaving the team, and now is back 4 years later?
Yeah. It's going to be scary, for sure, because you really, I mean, a minute, that's all you have. It changes the way you play so much. The tension is so much higher. It's a very, very high-stakes situation that you're going to be in for the entirety of this push. The Nighthawks aren't doing too much better. They have 27 seconds more, but more than likely, they're going to be going down to overtime just as much as Sapphire here, and they are not going to get any extensions.
And they're just going to play the comp that they felt like Sapphire didn't figure out quite yet. But Sapphire, they're running the comp that says, all right, this will beat the Pharmacy if they're running it. We don't want to risk going out into a Pharmacy saying, oh, we have to swap, and now we've lost 30 seconds for nothing, right?
Yeah.
It should be fine into the comp that Nighthawks are running, but Nighthawks showed they know how to play this. They know how to play this third, also very different comp from what we've been seeing from them prior, to a pretty solid level. I think it's a lot of pressure on Pepto.
It is.
That's just what happens when you have a Mercy pocket, though.
It is, yeah. He's got a lot of pressure to perform big here, and he has been able to pull off some big plays before, finding a lot of kills just on his own with that damage boost coming out, but it's going to be very difficult here. Osiren forced to recall already, going to be out of that backline for a little bit here as Pepto continues to push forward. Sapphire's continuing to blitz through 4x on this card, 3x now. Pepto hopping on in, trying to do some damage, but will get shot out of the air with that railgun, now trying to res. One Trick won't be able to get that res off before he's forced to fall back and regroup with his team. Console Noob sent out of the mech here. Osiren getting picked off. Sapphire have to wipe up this team fight quick. They only have 20 seconds left. They need to reset as soon as possible. The Nighthawks aren't making it easy for him, taking a while to kill Biso. There 15 seconds left. Sapphire is going down to the wire. They're going to have to try and get touch really fast.
There's only one fight left, and they're not going to have heals for it. So you can already see they're switching a lot of things up. It's Lucio. Pepto has no mercy, so he has to play very differently, but maybe not necessarily doing that right now, but getting some early damage. What else do they even have to play around here? Only Pulse Bomb may be coming up soon, but Osiren has been taking so much damage from this Kiriko.
Yeah, we're going to see Elp is in a bad way right now. Pulse Bomb going out. Pepto forced to dive out of the way, cancel his beam to try and avoid that here. Elp staying alive, and Pepto and Biso are both down. Console Noob trying to just contest for as long as he can, but One Trick down as well. There is no healing left for him. He's going to have to rely solely on his shields. Will the pile driver will come out. I'll get a lot of them here, but really just has to stay on the cart because of that overtime, and that's going to be as far as Sapphire make it just past the arch. Nighthawks only have 27 more seconds than Sapphire did to try and push further.
Really solid defense from them. I think the priority from Sapphire had to be on that Sojourn. As soon as they could not just continue to put damage into it, you can see Break completely locking down that bridge path. They just got railed.
Yeah.
The Nova was able to stay alive relatively uncontested. Free fire on Pepto. Like I said, defensive high ground, when you're playing a flyer, whether it's Echo or Pharah, the defensive high ground is so strong. Your advantage is being far away, height being the way you do that, and you just don't get that.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very interesting to see how they try and approach this. We're going to see the Pharmacy come out here, and Pepto already on the Echo, looking to try and counter this. Won't have the Mercy, though, and that could be a big deal. But One Trick, if he's able to get these sound barriers out, that could be huge for these overtime situations.
I don't think you want to be relying on ults with a minute 27 on the clock. Though. You can't be like, yo, I'll get beat, and it'll be so good, because you only have a minute and 27 seconds. That's a fast beat. You know, that's a fast beat. You're going to be expecting to get it in overtime here, but I think SNHU are doing the expected thing, which is why the Nova Nighthawks are playing Pharmacy. Yeah. You say, okay, it's a close hold. They're going to fight early, so they get 2 fights. Right? They're going to fight us right at the door, so they get 2 fights. That's why they're running Orisa. That's why they're running Reaper. Monkey's going to bypass them, and then they're not going to have anyone to shoot. That's how I feel like this fight's going to go. He's spotting early, doesn't see anything. The first one showing is Console Noob. All they see is that Orisa. their reaction is not to change. They're going to play it normal, but now they're engaging.
Yeah, team fight breaking out right now. Nova trying to get in here. Elp's going to be able to pick off one trick, and that is a very early support pick. Biso not going to last much longer. Both supports down for Sapphire. We see them slowly falling down one by one. Just Console Noob left, and he is not going to be lasting very much longer. As a team kill comes out here for the Nighthawks as they push up towards this this finish line right here. Sapphire, they are closing in on this. They need to make a play soon.
And he swaps here. I mean, Diva is not going to make it any faster than anyone else. Osiren going Widow. I think that's smart. If they have contest, it's Biso walking in on the side. Osiren now making it with 3 meters left. Pepper making it with 3 meters left. Osiren has to be the one to find shots in. He's getting some good damage early, but Bubble is completely negating the value that he's getting. Everyone is managing to stay alive for now with only Lucio heals. Constantnoob is absorbing a lot of the damage, and Farah the first one to go down. This could be the final fight.
Ooh.
Body shot now from him, but this angle's not necessarily perfect, and another Bubble's already out.
Yeah, this is going to be a really tough way for Osiren to actually find an opening here. Consolenoob's going to get demeched and taken out there, so no tank for Sapphire left, and the rest of their front line is going to fall as that tank cannot absorb that damage. Pepto ends up getting taken out here, and Sapphire's going to be able to push up. No contest here from Sapphire as the Nighthawks push up, and they take Dorado now 2-1 as they stay in this game. We're going to push next.
And they've consistently shown their flexibility, I think, through this. They have changed characters and constant, right? That they have all played quite a bit, and I think we could see where their priorities lie, what they'd probably like to play from the Nighthawks. But they're very good at a lot of different comps. I think it's going to be really hard to find a map that may feel perfect against them.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really tough thing, especially because we've seen them substituting players in and out. Definitely, you just have such a wide variety. Yeah, mostly, just the tank, but just a wide variety of play styles that they're really able to support here. But Elp seems to be doing a great job and sticking in on that monkey. I'm interested to see in push. Do you think they're going to stick with Elp? Do you think they're going to stick with the monkey here? Or do you think they're going to try and switch off to something else?
I think they will. I don't know if it's going to stay monkey, but I think they will be playing Elp on push. I feel like Declan might have just been their control player. We could see Declan come back maybe from map 5. For that, could also have been specific to Li Zhang, but Elp has been doing fantastic. Did you see the title that he had, by the way?
I didn't. What was
Top 500 flag bearer. So top 500 in competitive CTF.
Someone has to be.
Yeah, someone has to be, right? I mean, listen.
Respect.
It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. I respect to him. Maybe that'll help on the ebb and flow of a game mode that is push.
True. It's all neutral. It's you switching between attack and defense could be something there. But I think, especially on push here, you typically see. I would say you see a lot of brawl stuff kind of coming out on push, and so it's gonna be interesting to see exactly what they're looking at here. But let's go and see what push map we're looking at next. For map 4 will be Esperanza.
Esperanza. Okay. Oh, it's Esperanza.
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 That's how the announcer says.
That's how the announcer says it. But I'm always scared.
It's okay. You just have to overcome your fears.
Thank you. That's really inspirational from you, actually.
No problem.
Esperanza, I like this map a lot. I like this map a lot. I think it is probably my favorite of the 3 push maps. At first, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I think I was blind by how awful the final point was. How terrible that last little bit is. But push doesn't get there all the time. Yeah. Most of the time, it does not get there. So not really as worried about that when the rest of the map feels so good. It's very dynamic, and that's saying something for a mode that is as dynamic as push is.
I think that Esperanza is really interesting because you have so much rivaling high ground. There is so much high ground, and it's so easy to get access to it always. Which means that you don't really have these teams that are like doing full high ground holds or full, really trying to fight over that, because at a moment's notice, you can be running up staircases, switching across the complete, completely switching how the battlefield looks. And it's a really interesting map because of that fact, just because the positioning, like you said, is so dynamic that it allows for really, really fluid kind of movement throughout the map and for fights to move through the map in a really interesting way.
Yeah, well, we'll see how they choose to move in as we head into Esperanza, map number 4 in this series, with SNHU leading 2-1. I'm not sure what they're going to play. I'm going to be honest. This is a map where you can play a lot of different things. Obviously, I'm the coach of the team. Surprise! I don't think we've said that yet. Surprise! I'm the coach of the team.
I thought you were Mr. Overwatch.
I've done both.
Oh, that's
I'm a renaissance man of Overwatch.
Okay.
There is a lot you can play. They obviously have a comp that they are set to play on this map from what they normally do. How much is that going to pivot based on what they've seen so far, right? Are they going to try to change things up? Nova Nighthawks probably are from their normal game plan. You don't see a lot of Pharmacy here, but they're just like, oh, it worked.
Yeah.
Yep, let's do it again.
Sapphire have been having a tough time dealing with it, so I think it is not at all surprising to see them play the Pharmacy and just see how Sapphire react to it. I mean, it is a little bit scary because push is all one round. You know, if you lose the initial team fight, then you are going to be playing at a disadvantage for the rest of the set, or for the rest of the match. And so it's definitely a big kind of call out here from the Nighthawks to play the Pharmacy, saying, oh, I don't think you can figure it out. Sapphire, we'll see how they respond to that here. We are seeing the Ramatra come out once again from Console Noob. And I think that makes sense considering how kind of fluid you can play this map. Ramatra has a really easy time playing on low ground. Now high ground, but Biso just gets melted there as Nova takes him out. Console Noob will be able to avenge him there, but Pepto taking a lot of damage as well. We're going to see Help start to hop in on the backline at the moment. Will end up going down though to Osiren. Console Noob continue to push forward here, and Sapphire are going to get a chance to push the bot up here.
Yeah, they'll actually get the first fight win, the first little bit of contest. The misstep from Sapphire that they won because Elp didn't realize his Farah died and was like, this is the time to dive. This is where the damage is coming in. They left one small choke and said, all right, guys. Can't go through. We can't possibly go through that. They have Farah. Let's do the one right next to it.
Yeah.
They got rolled by Farah going through that door. They needed to pivot, go all the way around. The robot didn't unlock. They would have had a great chance to play it. It was just, you know, it's a gamble on a mid-fight. They gambled and they lost, but they ended up winning because of a small misstep later. Reaper for Osiren, he's going to have to play a very interesting game looking out.
Ooh.
That was a great shot by him. Forrest knocked very low, but the new Mercy heals are just so much.
Yeah, Osiren now up here on the high ground is going to have a great chance to drop down. Nova not feeling very comfortable in range of those shotguns. Help's actually going to get taken out there by Biso and the rest of the team as Console starts to push forward in Nemesis mode, taking down Blue Man. Untrick will end up getting picked off here, but just continuing to push forward here. Going to be a tough time for this Pharmacy as they have to fall back, get back around cover, and wait for their team to regroup. It's looking like Sapphire are going to get forwards here.
And there was actually, I didn't think about this interaction specifically, but playing Ramatra's slow. If anyone forgot, it pulls you to the ground.
That's true.
So the reason they just picked that Mercy was because they threw the slow below the people who can't play high, because the skybox is not high on this map. It is not high at all. That's fairly high. That's fairly high for where they are, right? But on mid, it's not high. I think if the Nighthawks take this comp, they'll be a lot better at this point, but not when there's an overclock coming in.
Yeah, overclock could be a big thing here for Pepto as he starts to push forward. Console just trying to take up space, blocking. Elp taking a ton of damage from these railgun shots, but not going to be able to finish him off here. We see Sapphire starting to try and take this high ground here. Pulse Bomb coming out, goes wide, not going to find anything, but a barrage from Nova finds a double kill, taking down Pepto and Biso. Osiren will be able to trade out, and the Sound Barrier coming through for one trick as well as the Kitsune Rush. Post-mortem from Biso. They're starting to push forward here, trying to find something. They continue to push back in, but that slow is huge. The Death Blossom is going to be able to finish off Noct, unable to escape from that field, and now it's just Blue Man left on the cart. He's doing a great job at harassing Noob, but Osiren coming back to join with the group is going to allow them to start to push forward once again with Sapphire regrouping.
5 ults, they have to win against a Primal and a Kitsune Rush that they definitely know are coming here, but Bastion now picked up. I think Bastion is better than people give him credit for, but I still don't know where his niche really lies other than with Ryan, but Console Noob's so aggressive into that Kitsune Rush. Well, one trick is the one who's been selected by ELP.
Yeah, and he's not going to be able to escape as he continues to push through. Now, behind the entire team, not a comfortable spot for Sapphire right now. Kind of between a rock and a hard place. As Console Noob trying to hold back against the Bastion, but not going to be able to as Osiren falls with him. Sapphire is going to have to try and fall back here. Get ready for this next fight. They don't want to lose forwards. But it looks like they might.
They're going to lose forwards. They might get other spawns actually before it gets there, and it looks like yes,
they do.
So everyone got forward spawns. They're going to be able to. They're going to want to take an early fight, but remember they have Farah. They don't necessarily want to go through this little choke point. Are they even looking for it? Looks like Monkey's not looking. As they now speed through, maybe they can bust out. Plus they use their Ramatra shield for it as well. So some minor resources spent, and no one really to pocket this Farah. They need to get some damage in on her early, but Bastion slowing down this Ramatra aggression a lot.
Yeah, just forcing him to hold down right click, keeping that block up. Pepto's going to get taken out by Noct there, harassing around the flank. We see Sapphire now down a damage, are going to have some trouble piercing through here. Osiren starting to push forward here. Kitsune Rush coming out from Biso as well as Console Noob building up to this annihilation, but he's not going to be able to get to it. He's not going to get the bonus health from popping it. Osiren ends up falling with him, and now it's going to be the Nighthawks just trying to clean things up here, finishing off the remaining players of Sapphire, continuing to push forward here. They actually haven't gotten the chance to push the bot in a while.
I think they need to just look at this Bastion. I know that they can Suzu maybe if they poke to force out one CD and then just go. that could be their game plan. But what's happening is ConsoleNoob is trying to spearhead this. They use turret form, and then suddenly he has to block the entire time, and the effectiveness is completely mitigated. I just heard them say the word Bastion, so I'm assuming that is their focus here, but Bastion coming in, a lot of damage quick, 3 kills.
Yeah, really nicely done there as Sapphire continue to push forward. Pepto finding a double kill there. Going to be the Nighthawks who have to try and push it back into the Sapphire. Getting to take control of the bot, starting to push back up towards these forwards. Could be really bad if they get the chance to get those forward spawns set up again. They continue to push up.
Even if they try to fight, this is a very hard fight to win, especially with Annihilation up now from ConsoleNoob. I think he is going to absolutely spend that if they try to commit through, but they don't need to. They have the lead. They can just stop here right now, especially because they've pivoted off of that Winston. Haven't seen much from them, but we're going to see a lot more from Pepto staying alive through that.
Great Suzu to keep Osiren alive with the Death Blossom, and Elf goes down. Osiren finding 3 kills. Pepto continuing to push forward here, and Sapphire are going to get the bot all the way up to their barricade, continue to push forward, starting to move up on the finish line here.
I know what Elp's name stands for now was the fact that he just helped Osiren right into his team's backline. But that javelin spin knocking him in with that. But Overclock from Pepto early, they're trying to win it, but they do force out the beat.
Yeah, Overclock coming out, but Nova fighting right back. Is going to be able to take down Pepto. Sapphire, not a lot of ults to work with here. Popped a lot of them just a little bit ago, but Nova is on fire, finding 3 quick kills with that. Overclock waving to the camera, knows he's on stream right now. Biso and Osiren quick to fall after. Nighthawks are going to get control of the bot again, but definitely not going to be able to get there in time before Sapphire arrive.
Yeah, there's just beat coming up from Sapphire. They actually might contest this before checkpoint. I could absolutely see that. Not from that angle, they're not. Okay, never mind.
No, that changes things a little bit here, but we could see Nighthawks, I mean, they're kind of disorganized right now, but constantly pushing up is able to take down Tensor, but get trades out by Nova here. So the Nighthawks continue to push up forward, just trying to ignore Sapphire as much as possible right now. Osiren teleporting up onto the high ground. They're going to try and drop down onto the cart, trying to figure something out. Beat comes out from one trick there. Pepto is going to get hit with that javelin, but the Beat keeping him alive. Now repositioning over to the safer angle, trying to avoid line of sight from the Bastion, but going to get javelined again. One trick actually finds a double kill there, trying to stay alive. Elp's got this. Terra Surge ready, could be scary, but Sapphire, I mean, it's really just stragglers left over. One trick, though, I mean, he found 3 kills this fight. He is doing work right now, and ConsoleNoob was able to finish it up. Sapphire back in control of the bot.
Sapphire definitely have to mix up their timings a little bit. It ended up working out because they spent the beat, but I think One Trick needs to be speeding them in when that Bastion's turret form is down. He is a worse soldier or an insane soldier, right? You got to go when he's a worse soldier. That's when you need to be making your moves, but they're not looking for it at that time. But forward spawns now gain, and then Biso just leaves.
Yeah, just get back to your team. Just get back to your team. That's what's so nice about Kiriko. You can just get those forwards and then immediately fall back to this high ground here where Sapphire are really looking to hold. ConsoleNoob's going to drop, though. Fall back off this high ground. Wants to make Nighthawks try and push back into them. Elf in a weird spot right now. He's going to have to try and fall back. Terra Surge coming through, yanking them all in, as well as the artillery coming through. Osiren is going to fall to that. Kitsune Rush comes out from Biso, but Sapphire just cannot get into it here as Pepto, 14 health left, trying to fall back. Will get healed back up there by Biso, but just not enough health to come back through. Elf finding a triple kill there as they continue to push forward here. Will rob these forward spawns away from Sapphire that they just took back, and now continuing to push back up towards their forward spawns.
They got 3 of them, though. They might be able to fight this before the butt scratch checkpoint. Getting a lot of early pressure here from some of this poke. What is the setup going to be? It's Osiren on the backside right now. They don't necessarily know that he is playing there, but slows. Some cooldowns traded early. Nemesis right away. They want to go off this, but they can't spend anything. He has to get pocketed through this. He has to keep running. And Pepto, though, catches Bastion, maybe a little bit overzealous.
I mean, the important thing here, ConsoleNoob still holding on to Annihilation for so long, but he won't get to pop it before he dies. Pepto goes down to them, so does Osiren. Nova just tearing it through the front line right now, and Biso barely able to escape, trying to link back up with his team, but getting chased down. Is going to be able to get the swift step in time before they start to approach him here. Will be able to. Nighthawks now making a ton of progress, getting into a lot of new ground here.
The first time they've broken through this, Orisa actually pretty far forward, so going to be the first target here. And the slow, great. The Sizzlop's going to have to be the win here. And they just use Suzu.
This not going to find anything off that, but ConsoleNoob running forward to the Annihilation is going to tear through the front line here. Nova popping Overclock, trying to stand his ground, but just can as Pepto rails right through him, taking down Nova. It's a team kill for Sapphire. The Nighthawks in a bad spot right now. Only 30 seconds left on the clock, and they have a ton of ground to work up.
And they have beat, while the only ult that Nighthawks are halfway to is arguably one of the worst ults in the game. I mean, there's ways to get a kill with it, but there's Hog has a cooldown that gets you a kill every time you use it most of the time. So it's tough to justify that. There's a lot of fights the Nighthawks are going to have to win here. Osiren at a weird angle, but saving his cooldowns now. They could walk in for this. Bastion caught out. This is the play you need to focus, and it's going to work out.
The beat comes out from one trick. That's going to be Blue Man down as the first pick. Osiren picking that one up. Constantly running forward, and Nemesis Bo's going to be able to take down Tensor. Kiriko down for the Nighthawks. Osiren taking down Hope as well. Pepto unfortunately losing that duel, but not by much. It's going to be Nova gets finished off there by Osiren, and just one player left on the card. It's going to be Nox that ends up going down. Sapphire, burning out overtime, are going to be able to take this set 3-1 with a successful Esperanza.
Yeah, great pick from them. I think, obviously, first fight, little struggle. You literally never see Pharah on that map. Nighthawks are just like, hey guys, we just won a map playing Pharah.
Yeah.
Let's play Pharah again. But, obviously didn't end up working out the long run for them, but I think still really back and forth map. Sapphire just very comfortable on this one.
Yeah, I really like the way they looked on this map here. Once they got control of the bot, they just never kind of let in there. And they really, I like the high ground hold there. Once you get the forward spawns, just sitting up there is such a comfy spot to be in when you're in the lead, especially by such the large margin that Sapphire was very, very early on, which just kind of set the entire game up for them to be in a very, very good defensive position and very safe.
And it's sort of like that push 101 that you don't really see necessarily in comp yet, just because the map hasn't been play. The mode is not real. People aren't used to it yet, right?
Yeah, but it's a weird mode.
Yeah, the concept of instead of just hey, we fight where we fight.
Yeah.
There is kind of a thing where if you look at the map and break it down, it's all right, these are the spots where it is good to fight for either side.
Yeah.
And then even if you're okay, if we keep pushing the bot, we're going to leave a spot that'd be really good for us. Let's just leave it. Let's just leave it and let's play for that fight instead. And you're going to be in a better place. It's like, holding on. Let's go back to Overwatch 1, right? Let's say you're playing. Okay. You're holding on Volskaya second, and you're holding on the back high ground.
It's been a while.
You're like, I want to go spawn camp. That's what it's actually like when you take a fight like that poorly. When you're like, you know what? We have really good positioning, but I want to get 5 more meters.
Yeah.
And then you die, and then they get 20 more meters.
Yeah.
It's you have to just know where to take the fight. Clearly, that's how they were playing it. They let the bot there. They said, this is the spot to be. We will have a better chance of winning the next fight. Meters be damned.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it's not the most intuitive way to play push. It's tug of war is the most intuitive way to play it. But when you get down into situations like this, hey, we have the lead of this right here. It's okay if we fight in the middle of the map. It doesn't matter because we have the lead and they don't. When you get into situations like that, when you break it down in that way, it becomes such a cool and interesting game mode. And it's definitely, I think, one of my favorite parts about Overwatch 2.
I agree. Do you want to get a player up here?
Sure.
Do you want to just talk to a player?
Yeah.
Does anyone want to get interviewed? Gavin,
they're all wearing their headsets.
I'm more like to poke them and tell them, or ask them. Does anyone want to get talked to by Shane? By Shane Sholey? Shane Overwatch?
I don't know.
Does anyone want to get interviewed? Anyone?
They all look confused.
They don't know what this means.
Oh.
It can be anyone. Oh, but it's gonna be Sean, I think.
Is that team captain?
So production. The name you write on my side will be Sean Durba, and the name under it will be Pepto. Wrong
that
person.
Was my name.
That was Shane's name. You're going to take my headset, and I'm going to get up. Don't do that.
We're live.
Yes, we are live.
Yeah, this is you right here.
Hello.
Hey,
what's going on?
Go ahead and have a seat. Have a seat. Welcome up to the desk.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going good.
Yeah,
happy with that.
Yeah, scoot over. You're kind of off to the side right now.
Okay, there we go.
So. You guys had a pretty tough time early on versus Nighthawks in some of those maps, especially looking at Blizzard World and on Dorado. They seem to have some strategies that kind of seem to be a little bit tough for you guys to deal with there.
Yeah, it was definitely a team that made us think on our feet and kind of adapt quickly to what they were doing. You can see we had a lot of comp swaps, and a lot of the maps we won, we only started winning in the second half or after a certain swap. So,
particularly of the 4 maps that you played tonight, which one do you think kind of was your favorite match of the night?
I like Blizzard World because I got to play Torbjorn.
That's true. You did.
He's a fun character. I've started scrimming him yesterday.
Yeah. I saw you playing him in here earlier today. The switch over when we started playing Blizzard World, just a complete change of pace from the Nighthawks there.
Yeah.
And I know you're the team captain. You're the team captain. So kind of how did you kind of help get the team get their head back on right and sort of figure out what they needed to do against this very, very different composition that you saw in Lijiang?
Well, first we just had to keep level-headed. Don't tilt out, don't go crazy, recognize what the problems are, and try to solve them. And that's what we did. I I like fed my brains out the first round. So I want a character that's a little harder to kill.
Yeah.
So
I think that the adaptation there, I mean, everyone could kind of see watching the match. It was like a puzzle being solved in real time.
Yeah.
It was really interesting and fun to watch. So congrats to you guys for this match tonight. Definitely a lot of really, really good games there and a lot of really close ones.
Oh,
too,
yeah.
Right down to the wire. I think this might be the most points captured on payload maps.
it's a little scary. Yeah.
It was very, very scary. A lot of overtime there. Very, very scary.
Yep.
But that's going to be all for us tonight. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in more, you can check out our Twitter at SNHU Esports. You'll be able to find everything on there from clips from tonight to match updates for our game tomorrow, which will be Rocket League as well as League of Legends. Be sure to check that out. Pepto, thank you so much for putting on a great show for us. Thank you for coming up and talking to us. That is all for us tonight. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll see you tomorrow.
We did it.